Hello, Jacqueline.
Hi.
So there's a brave warrior. Wasn't sure how many people would be available to pop on today, being close to the end of the year.
Just exit that. Oh, due to the holiday, huh?
Yeah. So a lot of people are confused whether or not we are even having it. So we'll have, we might be able to give you a little one-on-one if you want it.
Sure, sure. So I've been bouncing out of these for probably over a year now. Um, yeah. I I have been an agent for a very long time, but I started doing transaction processing and I grew a big business, and now 2025 I'm trying to get back into actually selling real estate instead of processing transactions. So here I am.
When you say a really, really,
Well,
really long time, you look like you're 25, so it can't be that long.
long time, 16 years. Yeah. I'm
Good for
actually
you.
40. So there you go. There we go.
It's got some note takers here. I got more note takers, which I don't understand that some days I have to take a note, have someone like give me the down and dirty on note takers. So people send their note takers instead of show up.
No, typically they have to show up in order to have their note taker on, is my understanding, but I guess that's not the case. That they should be here with their note taker.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get started. I appreciate you being on. I know there'll be some other people that will be logging on a little bit later. I've got 9 o'clock where I am. I am in Alaska. So my wife is from Alaska. We have a home here. And yes, that sheep behind me is a real sheep. And
Wow.
I think she bagged that and a few other things. People in Alaska love to hunt. So speaking of hunting, well, let's hunt and let's dig up some great tips on how we can have some conversations. This is a master class. And what we do practice here is question-based listening, enhanced conversations. And because it's small, we'll have a little opportunity to drill down on some specific issues you may be dealing with. So, Jacqueline, where are you located?
I'm in Miami Beach.
You said Miami Beach?
Miami Beach. Yep.
Yeah, great job. Alberto, how are you? Chance, Jose.
Good,
Last,
good, Denny. I'm in Broward County.
good.
T-
We got a Florida group here.
yeah, 25 miles north of Miami.
Well, then you
Nice.
guys are seeing the same market I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. That'd be great. So why don't we start with some issues? Jacqueline, you were the first one on. Where would you like to drill and improve on today? What would be a topic you'd like to talk about?
So I think one of my biggest focus coming into 2025 and just kind of being new at this is reaching out to absentee owners. That's where I'm kind of at. Might be a little bit green, but that's where I feel like it's low-hanging fruit and or leads that come in that are asking for market analysis on their property.
Okay, so all right, so let's talk about your absentee owners. And then I guess this would probably apply to you, Alberto, in Florida. We've got a lot of second home, vacation home owners. So let's talk about the strategy. If you're going to go after absentee owners, there's a lot of them. Are you being geographically specific?
Yes. So
Okay, so that
absentee
would
owners that live on my street.
got it. All right, and which would be great. I'd recommend that if anyone is planning on being real estate for any length of time, you might as well start a farm. And being in
Mhm.
Alaska, a lot of people here live off the grid. They grow their own food, they generate their electricity, et cetera, et cetera. So a farming is a great technique, but it is not a fast burn, right? So you have to be at it a while. So how are you, number one, so when you go to your absentee list, how are you getting that information?
I have a system that provides me the phone numbers, emails of any owners that and the addresses of actually where they live. But yeah, it's a dialing system that gives me that information.
So your title company Fidelity does?
No, it's a software that I pay for every month.
All right. And if you're willing to put it in the chat, other people can use it. If you
Uh-huh.
want to, I'm not attached to that outcome. The bottom line is it's smart. You guys, there's a lot of services out there that will provide you information. You pay for it, but it saves you time and money. For example, you probably had food today, but you didn't grow it. You didn't go out and shoot and kill it, clean it, and cook it. You stopped and you bought it. That's called leverage. The same is true in real estate. leverage the services that can give you that information. So when you get, oh, you have a Mojo dialer. Okay, so all right, so you're getting the information. If there's an agent on this call that does not have any resources, talk to your team leader, talk to your broker, whatever. Other agents can share in the chat here, like Land Voice, Vulcan, etc. There are services that will give you that information that will leverage your lead generation. Now, Jacqueline's talking about absentee owners. So now you get a list every morning, correct?
Yes, I get a list of expired for sale by owners. I pull absentees, but yes.
All right.
can
And so
pull-
what is your conversation with an absentee?
Currently, right now, it's what are your plans for your property for 2025?
Okay.
Do you
Can we
currently have
roll?
at least? It's typically
All right.
this.
Number one, do you have a written out conversation that you use, or have you already internalized it?
I've kind of internalized it already.
Okay. Then would you go ahead and role play? Would you call Alberto? Alberto is an absentee owner in this area that your street. So go ahead, ring.
Ring, ring.
Alberta, that's you, babe. You're
Oh,
muted.
you're muted.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, ring, ring. Hi, Alberto. My name is Jackie. I live right on your street here in Miami Beach. Are you still the owner of 2406 at Marano Grande?
Yes. What are your question?
Oh, okay. I noticed that this is no, sorry. Can we start over? Let's start over.
Ah,
Ring,
go
ring.
ahead.
So,
Hello,
Ring, ring.
hello.
Hey, hi, Alberto. This is Jackie. I live right on your street here in Miami Beach. Are you still the owner of 2406 at Marano Grande?
Yes, I am. What are you asking for?
Well, I have a lot of buyers that are looking in the area. I was wondering, do you have any plans for it for 2025? Is it currently leased?
Yeah, I have it under the list, and it's a real good rental income that I haven't for many years. So I don't have
Okay,
any
okay.
plans to
And
sell it.
do you know when your lease expires?
Uh, by June 30th.
June 30th?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And what are your plans after that happens?
I rent it again. I mean, put a new paint, fresh paint, and rent it again because it's a hard market, Miami Beach. A lot of
Okay,
people are looking to live in there.
okay, what are you leasing it for currently, if you don't mind me asking?
Say that again.
What are you leasing it for currently, if you don't mind me asking? What is the tenant paying each month?
The tenant is paying 2,800 a month.
2,800 a month. Okay,
Yes.
all right. Well, I noticed it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. There is one on the market that's rented for a little bit more than that. If you can get more money for your property, is that something you might be interested in?
all right, I'm going to call time. Hey, I see Tanner. What are you doing? You taking a page out of the book of Dr. Lauren Goodwin? Are you out jogging now while you're on my Zoom call? So, a couple things. Anybody has any feedback here for Jacqueline, that'd be great. But here's the first thing I heard. You identified yourself as a neighbor. You gave your name, but you did not state you were a real estate agent.
Do I have to?
Well, you don't
Not
have
necessarily
to.
their neighbor, or I guess I should.
No, I like the neighbor part, but when you, I guess are you strategically not? So I'm just
Not, because I feel
asking,
like it
is
opens
there
up
going
the
to be pros and cons?
Mhm.
Well, I guess, I mean, the issue is then you start going into all the details about what are your plans? What are your plans? And that'd be the second point I give you. When you want to ask a question, ask one. It's kind of like when you text people, don't send 2 texts without a response because you're only get one answer. You said, what are your plans? Is your property leased? Now so if you're going to structure your conversation, ask one question at a time, but I'm kind of wanting to know why my neighbor is asking me these questions.
Got it.
I don't know. I don't think it would hurt you. Hey, this is Denny Grimes. I'm your neighbor, actually, and I work for a local real estate company. And okay, so when going in, when you are making what we call, and we talk about this on our recon. Have you ever been on a recon? That's our daily call. Have you ever been on a recon?
I don't think so, no.
Anyone here does not have the information for recon, just email me, Coach Denny Grimes. No, just go to reconroleplay.com. Recon, RECON, roleplay.com, and then I'll take you right to the Zoom. It is 9:30 to 10 o'clock Eastern time, Monday through Friday. Now, we won't have any recon until the week of January 6th, but That's a daily thing. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we specialize in outbound calls. And what we talk about in an outbound call, if you're making a call that the other people, and these aren't people you know, these are absentee owners. So what's the difference between making it, and this is for anybody, what is the difference between making a call to an absentee owner or to an expired or to a for sale by owner? What is the difference?
Expired and for sale by owners, lower hanging fruit.
The absentee owner.
Well, I
doesn't
mean,
get the call.
I'm going to say broadly put, they are in the same classification. These are outbound calls. They're not expecting to call. They don't know you. Now, again, there might be more motivation in an expired or a for sale by owner. They may be getting more activity where you're making an absentee owner call. They're not getting as many calls. So the point is, when you're making an outbound call to people that are not expecting you or don't know you, we have to be on our game, what we call, and Tanner, what is a bull ride? Tanner, what's the bull ride?
15 seconds.
Yeah, the first 15 seconds. Now, I notice your pace, Jacqueline, is very fast, which is typical probably for Miami Beach. And you're probably, I'm guessing you're maybe bilingual because that's a heavy bilingual population there. Just okay. And that's great. Just recognize the fact you're fast. And I'm in Naples, Fort Myers, so we're more Midwestern, a little slower. Just recognize the pace has to be able to be comfortable for them. So the first 15 seconds is you can introduce yourself and create some curiosity. Now, and it's called a pattern interrupt. For example, if you're the greatest leverage thing you have there is that when you say, I'm your neighbor. Now, what's interesting on this, you guys, if you're making outbound calls and maybe it's your geographic farm, how close do you have to be a neighbor? Would a block work?
Not necessarily.
I think a block would
I
work.
think a block would work, yeah, 100%. To be a neighbor?
Would a mile work? I think a mile would work.
Oh, it'll work.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 10 miles might even work. So the interesting thing is when you call it and say, I'm your neighbor, that's an interesting thing where it doesn't sound like you're a fuller brush person, calling to sell timeshare. I'm your neighbor.
Yeah.
Now, so then what could be a great pattern interrupt? Hey, listen, and then you went into it about a minute into the call. Well, first of all, let me ask you, what is the purpose of your call, Jackie? Or Jacqueline?
That's a good question, Denny.
Because you went into
again to see what their plans would be, or to see what their plans are for that investment.
Okay, so I'll open this up to anyone. Okay, so what do you think an absentee owner is? If you want to get their attention, what would be the number one? There'd be a couple of different things. Hey, were you aware the building burnt down last night? That would be a great attention grabber, but probably not true. However, doesn't that create interest? Other than the building burning down, what would be a great hook?
Let them know about the homes that sold in the area currently or went on the contract.
Value. And again, if you're calling on your street and in hurricane, we've had a number of storms, and I mean, you could actually be calling absentee owners. Hey, listen, I'm a neighbor of yours. I know you live over there on Oakwood Street. I'm just calling everyone that I know that I found out that they don't live here full time. I've driven the street. Everything looks okay. I just want to make sure your property looks okay. Are you okay? I mean, that would be a purpose. Other than that, it's value. Hey, listen, this is Denny Grimes Keller Williams. I'm one of your neighbors. I just wanted to take 30 seconds and let you know of a recent sale that might interest you. You realize the unit on the 14th floor just sold for $1.2 million or something like that. Now, again, what you want to do, if you're calling them, they already own property. They may not have raised their hand and want to sell. So what kind of information can you provide that would be interesting to them, that they would want to have a conversation with you? And I would think the purpose of the call to absentee owners, it would be ideal if you can get a listing appointment or whatever, or they have a referral for you. However, I think a great win would be the fact that you are, quote, neighbors. And they're not here full time. Most likely there's nobody else calling them. Maybe you could add them to your database and then work on building a relationship with them as you grow your farm. For example, do you guys have any special events for, I mean, I guess we're in Hanukkah right now. We just had our Thanksgiving pie. If this is a geographic farm, you might want to say, oh, by the way, we have a big event every year. We have a boat parade. And I don't know, are you getting information about the event calendar coming up? So what you want to do if you're calling these folks is, they're already property owners. What's the probability? Let me ask you this question. What's the probability if you call 100 absentee owners? What's the probability you're going to hit someone that's in the gestation period of wanting to sell? Anyone take a wild guess at that? 10%. They say, and there's different numbers out there, but if property owners move about every 10 years, that means if you call 100 people, there'd be 10 people that are somewhere within a year of wanting to maybe move. And so the other 90%, why not get them in your database? Because at some point in time, they're going to want to move. Does that make sense, Jacqueline?
Yes.
So what did you hear that would be helpful for you?
Value add. That's huge. Give them something of value, right? When you call them. I think that's probably the most important thing that.
And then you end with a question like, so is anyone keeping you abreast of what's going on? I specialize in this neighborhood. I'm happy to just put you on my quarterly update list. Would that be helpful? And oh, by the way, or here's this, like this is a great one for absentee owners. Because they don't even know this, right? Say, listen, we had a home over here, was on the market 3 days, and there's 3 offers on her, 2 already sold right away. That we've got buyers that are looking, and because we share the same neighborhood, do you know any of the other neighbors around here that's thinking about maybe wanting to capitalize on this great market? Now, you didn't ask them that. Who do you know that's thinking about selling? Now, for example, if you ask someone, hey, look, every now and then I run into a great buy. I mean, we have Publix in Florida, and they always have these buy one, get one free. So if I run into someone who's selling a house, buy one, get one free, do you know anyone that would want it? Or a house was half price? It's a crazy question. And they're going to say, well, oh yeah, if I guess a good enough deal, I might be. Boom. All right. So anyway, those are a couple of little tips that might help you. And congratulations on making those outbound calls.
Thank you.
Who's got their hand up now? Alberta, you were next. What would you like to talk about? And I see some other.
Yeah.
Yogi. Thank you for the Christmas wish. Thank you.
I would like to
All right,
talk
Alberto.
about my owner.
All right, for sale by owner. Are you going to call one? Do you want to be at the table with one?
I'm gonna be calling.
All right. You're calling Yoshi. Ready, Yoshi? Yoshi, you're for sale by owner.
Ring.
You're muted, Yogi.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Alberto and I'm calling about a home for sale. Are you the owner?
yes,
Yes, I told you before, my name is Alberto. I'm a local real estate agent, and I noted that you are selling your property for sale by owner, correct?
yes.
Yeah. How the things are working out for you right now?
It's okay. It's been 3 days, so I have not received any calls yet.
You haven't received any calls or any showings yet?
No,
Okay. What is your motivation to sell your house from 1 to 10 at this point?
5.
5?
Mhm.
What would make it a 10?
If I get the right price.
And okay, I totally agree with you. Why you decide to go by yourself instead of using a professional agent like me to help you out at the sale of your house?
Because, I'm really not looking to sell it. So why should I spend money to the agent if I can get the right client by myself?
Okay. If I show you a way where you can earn more money by working with me instead of selling it yourself, would you be ready to talk with me for 15 to 20 minutes this afternoon at 3 or tomorrow at 4?
Can you tell me what it would be?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna give you some really valuable information about the market in the area and what's going on.
Time. There's 90 seconds. Alberto. Now, do you make outbound calls? Do you call for sale by owners?
Yeah, once in a while. Yeah.
Okay, now when you were demonstrating that, were you looking at a script in front of you?
I internalize the scripts all the time. Or most of the time, I've been using the same script for 2 years.
All right. So how effective has your conversation been working with for sale by owners?
I know I have to improve my conversations.
Okay. And this is a question for you, but I'm asking everybody.
Yeah.
How much do you practice on a daily basis?
I be in the recon at least 3 times a week, and I have
Mhm.
a couple of partners that we role play Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay. So here's the message. And again, thank you for being on Recon. Thank you for being on this call. This is where you're going to get knowledge. What we're doing now is really not practice. So just assume that you want to be a champion pickleball player. A lot of pickleball courts going all over Florida. And we're having a Zoom call here on how to be a better pickleball player and net play and how to serve, blah, blah, blah. Does that mean you can go out there and do it? No. That comes with practice. And so you guys are investing the time here to learn. However, you've got to go and commit it to daily practice. For example, so I'll just give you a little bit of feedback. For example, you said that you have it internalized. Well, probably, and you're calling, it might work. It might work sometimes, but you realize when you started, you asked the same question twice. Remember, I believe someone who is picking up the phone doesn't know you're calling. They don't know you. They're looking for a way to probably get off the phone as fast as they can because one, they don't want to talk to you. Number two, they're burning macaroni and cheese on the stove or whatever. So you have better be snappy. You have better be compelling inside of 15 seconds. Then, okay, so I'm going to use a different metaphor. The first 15 seconds is the break in when you're going to play a game of pool. You can control that. You can set the cue ball where you want. You can hit it with whatever stick you want. However, you have no control of where the balls go. And that's how they respond. And so then here's the second thing I want you to understand. If you make a good break, if you earn the first 15 seconds, you create a pattern interrupt. And I'm gonna make a slide, you guys. I know you want to get better at outbound calls. I found a guy that teaches online, and he came up with the top 10, and he rated them from 10 to number 1 opening lines that give you more of an opportunity to have a conversation with someone with a pattern interrupts. If you'd like that, I'm going to put it together, and I'm happy to email it to you. So just stand, I'll probably put it on a slide and maybe have it in the next week or so. And you would work on these. And what's common about all of those is a strong pattern interrupt. Like, for example, hey, this is Denigrams Keller Williams. And yes, I'm another real estate agent. So you want to hang up now or before, or something like, can I have 30 seconds of your time before you hang up and tell you why I'm calling? I mean, it's something like that because that's what's going through their mind. And then the other thing is people only have X number of seconds of tolerance. This is where I want you to have a mental egg timer. Because if you don't strike pay dirt very fast inside of the next 15 seconds, if you don't have a significant call laid out inside of 30 seconds, there's a chance you want to have another 30 seconds to go. So for example, Alberto, I'm just going to go with you on the question, what's your motivation 1 to 10? I don't know how the rest of you guys felt, and you can pipe up here, David, Tanner. You've been on a number of these calls. Anything will work is better than nothing. However, have you earned the right to ask that question? Now, I like the question: what's your motivation? 1 to 10, 5. What's it going to take you to get to a 10? But I'm not sure that question is going to work right off the bat because I'm not sure you made enough deposits to get a withdrawal. Anybody else have feedback on that?
Yeah, I would say that, that was, I don't want to say inappropriate, but rather than asking 1 to 10 question, I would just ask, what makes you sell or where are you moving after you sell? That would be kind of, and then the follow-up question would be from, 1 to 10, how motivated are you to do that? Something like that, But what I learned, Denny, is like to have basis, from the recon and from you. So when I make my call, I do have my basis. I have to touch base certain basis, motivation, and all those stuff. And it's very helpful when you have that map.
Right.
Thank
Well,
you.
what is the number one reason people are attempting to sell it on their own? Most likely to save money. So I'm going to get together that list. I never made my living on outbound calls. So I'm learning a lot from you and Matt and many other people that make outbound calls. But I am learning the science of it. Now, I don't think Bill Belichick ever played football. If he did, he probably didn't. He's not a Hall of Famer. So I think I can teach it, although I've never done it. So those are some tips for you. And again, it's work on the first 15 seconds, practice that. So it's like that. It's kind of like your one line in your school play. Don't screw it up. All right, next. Yoshi, you want to go? Yogi, I think it's Yogi. Yogi, what would you like to work on today?
I'm trying to do his book calls, and it's not like working out because I'm not prepared for them. So maybe I'll give a try for Facebook.
Facebook call. Okay.
Facebook. Like
Oh, Facebook.
still by
Facebook. Got it.
owners. Yeah.
All right. Do you have a conversation in front of you?
No, I don't.
Well, I tell you
Yeah.
what. All right. So what I'm going to suggest is don't wing it. If you want to participate here, then I want you to have a conversation that you practice. All right, because this is mastery level.
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah, sure.
Now,
I'll
if
be
you want
more
to,
prepared like next week then. So
that'd be great. Now, if you'd want to work on a for sale by owner at the table, we can do that. But if you're going to do outbound calls, I don't want you to wing it because it
Okay.
won't be any good. It won't be any good.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay. Do you want to do an objection at the table?
Mm,
I guess we'll come back to you. Hang
yeah,
on. That's
rather
okay. Tanner.
I would hear and then I will.
Okay. Tanner, what are we doing?
So Denny, we'll do objection at the table. It has to be seller. And I'd like to pick something randomly, but very realistically.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go to, well, if your name is Sherry, you're probably not Sherry. So change your name. I know you by your face, but I don't remember your name. So update your name. Kate, you got the right name there. It's Kate. Have you ever worked with a seller that had an objection? All right, come off mute just for a second. Give me a common objection for Tanner to work on.
A discount agent. You're up against a discount agent.
Got it. You want to be that seller?
I can be, sure.
There you go. So he's given a listing presentation. Are you ready to move forward? And you say what?
I'm just curious, what is the commission that you're going to be charging if we do decide to go with you?
Oh, great question. I was just about to get into that. And Kate, other than the professional fee, was there any other concern that you may have?
Not at this time, no.
So we're good with everything except the fee. So the brokerage fee that we charge to help you sell the home, of course, for the highest price is X amount. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't, obviously we've told you we're interviewing a few different agents. And this other agent is offering to do it for a full % less than that. So we would be netting a lot more money if we went with that agent.
Okay, so you're saying the other agent told you they will do it for 1% less?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And let me ask you, I mean, did they start at that percentage or did you guys negotiate it to that level actually?
They started.
So they started lower.
Yes.
All right. And ultimately, oh, Denny, I got a little stuck, man. I haven't practiced this for some time. I know where to go, but all right. So 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 you find a value in that agent just because they're offering lower percentage. Is that what it is?
I mean, I'm getting basically the same thing for less money.
Help me understand, like, and there's no right or wrong, but how do you feel like, how can somebody really take less and help you earn the most?
Well, I mean, agents are making a lot of money off these sales anyway. I'm not really sure why they're making that much money to begin with. So somebody who's offering to do it for less, I don't see why not.
I understand. I mean, do you think there's a reason why they would offer you, a discount to start with?
Probably so that they could get more houses on the market than most other agents.
Now, if their strategy was just to be a discount agent and, ultimately their business on discount, how do you feel like, how confident would it be with somebody that's their strategies on discounting properties and commission to get
Time. So interesting. A couple different things. Tanner is kind of a pro at this. For the people that aren't on all the time or taking notes, you go back to the beginning of the call, he did a good job isolating. Okay, other than the professional fee, notice he didn't say commission. He uses professional fee, which is what we say here. And I know since August 17th, it's a little bit different. And one of the things that I'd recommend you do, and again, I don't know, there could be different states. I've heard there's different things in different states and different brokerages, etc. Is what we're talking about when we get to this point is what your fee is as the listing agent. You can have a conversation of what they're going to have from a seller incentive. So he did a good job. And so his first question, if fee comes up, the other agent said they'd do it for 1% less. Remember what he asked. He said, well, did they start there? Or did you negotiate it down? He was going after the ability of the agent to negotiate. And she gave him the answer he did not want. Because if the agent negotiated the fee down, then of course that would be a leverage point where you could then exploit their poor negotiating skills. But that was a fee that they started with. Then Tanner was attempted to do another kind of little sneaky thing. He kept using the term, and I think it's a good strategy, discount, discount, discount. Now, just because someone charges less doesn't mean it's a discount, but it's a subliminal thing. She didn't really push back on a whole lot. However, is it possible for a consumer to think, why shouldn't I pay less, right? Now, she did say one thing in the beginning, and this is what we practice is question-based listening enhanced. So she said this, they paid 1% less so I can net more money. Now, that would have been a leverage point. So the question would be, then I'll go back to you just for a second, Kate. So is it the fee is important or is what your net important? So you can answer that.
Oh, the net.
Okay, so would it be possible that someone that basically has a lower fee is more into a volume business, and in a volume business, they're not worried about maximizing return? Can you see that as a possibility?
I mean, sure, I could see that.
So, for example, if you were going to stay somewhere and wanted a nice experience, you could go to a Motel 6, or you could go to a Hilton, or something like that. Which one would you pay more for, and which one would be the better experience? So, I mean, you can start going down. What you want to do is find out if she's open to less money. Does not necessarily mean more net. Does that make sense? So would you have bitten on that, Kate?
Probably, yeah. My big thing with discount brokers is that I was trying to lead him to is they take more listings. Well, does that leave enough time to take adequate care of yours if they're taking care of 20 versus me, a full price broker, taking care of 4 or 5 at a time?
Right. There you go. They're into the volume and not the quantity, not the quality. That would have been an angle. Go ahead, Tanner. Was that you that said something?
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay. All right. Good job, Kate. Kate, you want to, then you can step in as an agent. And Katrina, how are you? You're muted. So I'll let you, Kate, you get to pick the objection.
Can we do at the table, a FISBO at the table, whatever objection you want to do?
Sure,
All right, Katrina, you ready?
I'm ready.
You're the buy owner. Go.
Hello? Oh, I'm at the table, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi.
So based off everything I showed you today, would you think that you are willing to move forward with working with us?
Think so. I think that I'm able to go ahead and proceed with this on my own as I originally thought.
Okay, so what is the difference between what you are going to be doing and what you see? What are the negatives of working with us as an agent that's still holding you back?
Don't think that there's any negatives per se, but I do think that I can do the same thing that you're planning to do when it comes to selling my home. I do have experience of selling homes in the past, so I think that it won't be that hard. I don't need an agent to represent me to get that done.
Oh, I didn't realize you had sold homes in the past. I'm sorry, we haven't talked about that before. How many have you sold?
Well, I used to I retired my license. It's been a couple of years.
Okay, okay. Awesome. So do you have somebody that you can at least set up with a limited agency that can put it on the MLS for you since your license is retired?
No, I was just going to put it in Zillow and put some signs out and, just do the normal marketing. It didn't necessarily have to be in the MLS.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, that is definitely one way to go about it. And obviously with your history in real estate, you know what you're doing. I guess I'm just kind of curious why you don't think that putting it in the MLS would be beneficial.
I think Zillow does the same thing. I mean, it all kind of cascades out to, people and, everybody going to Zillow. So I think that we'll still be able to get the same eyes on it.
Time.
Okay.
There's 2 minutes. There's 2 minutes. All right. Well, let me ask you some questions, Kate. Why is she selling?
I have no idea. So I
It's-
assume we would have talked about that before coming to the table. So that's why I didn't ask about it.
But you would, okay, so you acknowledge the fact that so understanding, okay, so we
Right.
have to know motivation.
Right.
Let me ask another question. Why is she not electing, why is she not electing to hire an agent?
Because she has a history of doing that. And so she doesn't feel like paying an agent is necessary when she knows what she's doing.
Okay, well, all right, so how about this? So I'm gonna go to Katrina. Katrina, how about this? So let me ask you then, all right, so then if you have some real estate experience, then have you decided then if an agent like myself were to bring you a acceptable offer, have you already agreed that you would pay my broker a fee? Have you already
Absolutely. You
built that
bring me a
in?
buyer. Yeah, we'll do 2%.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, what are you attempting to save by doing it yourself?
Money,
No,
definitely.
what
my-
percent? I mean, most likely a buyer is going to come. The National Association says that 90% of unassisted sellers sell their house, but another agent brings them a buyer. So you're willing to pay an agent that's working for the buyer and working against you, but you're not willing to pay someone to represent you. Is that right?
Well, since you put it like that, yes.
Okay. So then you're going to be your own representation. What are you attempting to save?
The 3% that I'm normally going to pay an agent, I can represent myself.
Okay. So let me ask you, what do you do for a living?
Currently, I am in between jobs.
Okay, well, you're looking for a job. What industry are you in?
I am in human resources.
Okay. So you understand there's a skill in hiring human resources in that industry, correct?
Correct.
some of the responsibility that you have in your industry, like hiring the right people, the right talent for the job.
Mhm.
Have you seen people that do your job that are good at it and some that aren't so good?
Absolutely.
Are you saying that there's a skill in what you do?
Yes.
Okay. Well, would it be a stretch to say that there's a skill in what a real estate agent can do for a seller?
Oh, most definitely.
So let's talk about that just a little bit. So you already agree you're going to pay 2% out to a buyer's agent, and you're attempting to save 2 or 3% yourself. So when you go to position your home, how are you going to initially establish the asking price?
Well, I've looked at some homes in the area, and I definitely think that my home looks better. So we were going to go probably close to what the neighbor across the way listed for and sold.
Okay. And is it possible, because you don't do this every day? I mean, anyone can, I can go out and hire people just like you and human resources, but there's this, you've already admitted there's a skill to it. So is it possible a seller, when they go to initially position their home, you're going to look at what the neighbor did, but you don't have all the facts and figures on how the neighbor positioned that home. Is it possible that you can misprice it by 1% or so?
I guess that's possible. Yes.
Because what if they had a death in the family and they were motivated, they took the first offer and they really jumped on it, and they really shouldn't have, and maybe it sold below market value.
Hmm.
So maybe the 2 or 3% you're attempting to save is now going to be maybe 1 or 2%. Okay, and see what I'm doing, you guys? You've got to break it down. Tanner, give me my airline speech, please.
What's Delta?
When you go on vacation, fly anything you want. When you're dealing with real estate conversations that have a number in it, you've got to fly Delta. They've got this commission in their mind. You cut it in half if they're going to pay a buyer's agent. Now, whatever's left, they're going to save that. Now we start to take this as like taking a turkey breast and putting it in a slicer in a deli stand, and we're going to slice it down. The sellers have no earthly idea. They have no what's the word I'm looking for? They don't understand where to position their home. They don't have, I can't think of the word. They don't have the same skill we do at positioning. That's one. She's admitted she could maybe misposition it by 1 or 2%. Let me ask you this: can an unassisted seller be successful at selling their home? Yes or no? Yes.
It can
What's the danger?
not selling for
Leaving
the
money on the table.
right. Yeah.
They're leaving money on the table. So you've got to go to pain. And I'm not in my studio, so the baseball diamond is get clarity, isolate clarity. Second base motivation. Third is pain. And so Tanner, you might know. Then I've taken her to the initial positioning of maybe saving or losing 1 or 2%. Right? What would be the next slice of the turkey breast? You're
Then
reducing it to the ridiculous. What is it?
amount wise, and then we would go throughout the negotiations part.
Well,
Is
okay. The next one would be, okay. So now you've already agreed you're gonna pay the person that, it's kind of funny. It's that you're going to pay the attorney to represent the buyer, but you're not going to pay somebody to represent you. It's kind of strange, but let me ask you. So when the buyer brings an offer and they're represented by an attorney, by their real estate agent, who is the real estate agent working for? Is it possible, because you have no one working for you, that you might settle on a price maybe 1% less than you could have gotten if you had somebody in your corner, Katrina? You see, this goes to the heart of a lion listing agent. Not a lion, not like I'm lying to you, like a lion, like Lion King, right? The heart of a lion. When you know that you're free to a seller, we are free to a seller. From the initial positioning to a change in position, if we're not at the right price, what is the right price we should reposition to? In the negotiation, in the appraisal, back and forth, in the inspection report, blah, blah, blah. All those things is a skill. And there's no freaking way that a seller can do better than us over time. Maybe once every blue moon, you can get a hole in one. But what I'm doing is I'm basically, and then when you slice every slice of turkey, then you go to what's your time worth? I know you're between jobs. This may be for kicks and giggles. And what about the liability? And oh yeah, they're going to have to hire someone to do the title work and the lawyer work, blah, blah, blah. We are free. Does that make sense?
May I add one thing, Denny? You
Yep.
know, during the negotiation part, it doesn't, I personally believe it, you don't have to have a degree in that, you know, to be a perfect negotiator, but just like having the one fact in mind, we're a realtor, so we have systems to attract buyers all the time. So maybe I don't have that buyer today, but what's the, you know, it's possible that I may attract that buyer tomorrow. And that leverage would always give you a step up as a realtor to represent that for sale by owner, much better than just on your home. I don't know if I was able to explain myself.
I know a lot of that. This is what I heard you say. There's agents that want to sell the, hey, look, I got all these buyers, blah, 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 blah. I don't use that. I mean, I think the sellers might like to listen to that, because if you have the right position, the buyers will come. When I say position, I'm saying pricing. I just don't use pricing. When your property is positioned properly, buyers will come. If you build your listing presentation and the seller on the buyers you're going to bring, you're painting yourself in the corner. You cannot bring buyers to a poorly positioned listing. That should be your motto today. So when you have a poorly priced listing, I want to see you bring buyers to it, guys. Who's next? Katrina, you're the agent. David, can you play or are you on a call? Katrina, what would you like to work on?
Expired,
Call or at the table?
call.
All right. So you can go to Yoshi. Yoshi, all right. You're going to be the expired call again.
Ready?
Go. Ring, ring, go.
Hey Yoshi, this is Katrina. I'm a local realtor. Listen, before you hang up, I was hoping to ask you a quick question about the home for sale. Would that be okay?
Hang
Yeah,
on.
sure.
Hang on. Stop that. That's what I'm talking about. A bull ride. That was like 8 seconds before you hang up, because they're already thinking it. Let's do it again. Let me hear it again. Go.
Hey Yoshi, my name's Katrina. I'm a local realtor. Listen, before you hang up, I was hoping to ask you a quick question about the home for sale. Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure.
Well, awesome. So I saw
I'm
that.
going to stop. I'm going to stop you again. That was 5 seconds. Maybe 6. I was slow on the button. That was a strong 6 seconds, guys. She identified herself. She didn't say company, local real estate agent, which I kind of like, because you mentioned a company. It could be either way. And before you hang up, can I ask you a couple questions? That's in the top 10, you guys, I talked about. Let's do it again in case people missed it. I'm going to time it this time. Ready? Go.
Hey Yoshi, this is Katrina. I'm a local realtor. Listen, before you hang up, I was hoping to ask you a quick question about the home for sale. Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I saw that it came off the market unsold and was just curious to see if it had sold privately, if it was still for sale.
It's still for sale, just didn't sell.
Okay. Had it sold, where were you planning to relocate?
I was going to Florida.
Awesome. And what was taking you to Florida?
I just had planning to retire.
Cool. Okay, awesome. So let me ask you this. When you were meeting with your agent weekly, did they share with you any feedback or anything as far as why it didn't sell the first go round?
Not really. It was like we had showings and we had few offers which I didn't like, but that's about it.
When you say, I'm sorry, when you say you didn't like, what you mind elaborating a little bit? Tell me more about that.
It was not to the price point which I was looking at.
I mean, initially listing or your offer?
Offers.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Awesome. And then how soon, you mentioned that you were planning to retire and that you were going to Florida. How soon ideally would you like to be there?
I have like 6 months.
Six months?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, Yoshi, I'm not sure if this is for you or not, but how open-minded would you be to maybe set aside maybe 15 minutes for me to stop by and share with you my strategy and how I help other homeowners like yourself sell their home in this market?
Time. All right. So clearly she's practiced it. That is a conversation. Probably, I don't know where she got it. It might be a little bit customized, but I've heard it before. What's the source of that conversation, Katrina?
I kind of just put it together. It's off
Yeah,
YouTube video, and then I think some Glover,
Mm-hmm.
some Danny Glover. I've just been kind of making it my own for some time.
That's funny. That's funny. Danny Glover. You mean Jeff Glover?
I mean,
Danny
yes.
Glover. He's a good actor too. So, you guys sense that? I mean, those questions were well placed, right? And that's what I'm talking about. The words, there's no magic words. There are magic presentations. You'll get better with the words as you practice and you'll learn. There's a ton of things on YouTube too, just watching people. Short videos, you can get little tips. What did you guys hear that you liked? I thought it was pretty tight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she practiced it. She kind of internalized it well. I like that pretty much very, and she sounded confident too. So
Yep.
Yeah, she didn't start like, with criticizing the other agent or asking like what the other agent didn't do well or anything. She was just trying to put her value. So
Her opening was 6 seconds. Introduce herself, and before you hang up, can I ask you a couple quick questions? She went to motivation. She didn't drill down on that. They want to get to Florida. The bottom line is expired listing, right? They wanted to sell for some certain reason, and then she does a little bit of the takeaway. Now, we have Matt on our calls on Recon a lot. He does a lot of outbound calls, and she said, "Well, I'm not sure this is going to be for you." See, that is a disarming statement, but would it be worthwhile? You see, when you talk about the 5 mindsets of a potential seller or a buyer for that matter, where number 1, they have no interest. Number 2, they might have a latent interest of buy or sell. Number 3 is, yes, they want to buy or sell. 4 is, yes, they want to buy or sell, and they will consider using an agent. And the last one is, yes, they want to buy or sell. They are going to use an agent, and it will be you. You've got to get to a point of number 4 before you get to number 5. These people they're already at 3. So an expired is, okay, do I want to move forward with another agent or maybe or wait a while or whatever? So verify the fact that they still want to move and they have a motivation. In this case, they want to get to Florida. And the question is, if it could happen, would you still want to be there? And I love the fact, Katrina, you said, hey, this may not be for you. This may not work out. Would it be worth 15 minutes of our time to have a conversation? That conversation sounds different than what they're getting from a lot of different people. So good job. David, you're back. Can you talk? You mute. You can. Okay. Got it. All right. Yoshi, ready to go? You can role play at the table.
yes, sure.
All right. Do you have a preference what you cover?
So you want me to go as an agent?
Yes.
Oh. I had like nothing on my mind.
Okay,
I
no
thought-
worries. Ozzy, you want to play? Jose, I see you're up here. Anybody else that I don't see cameras up, or we'll go back around. Tanner. Show off your muscles. I'm a seller. I want to wait till spring. Go. You muted. Tanner, you're still muted. Hang on, you got a little problem there. Is it Adriana? Is that you?
Yes, it's
Where are
me.
you? Yeah. Where are you located?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Okay, so you're going to be at the table. You want to buyer or seller?
I want to be the seller, please.
You're the seller.
Yes.
All right. I then okay. Then I will be the agent.
Great.
All right. Are you ready to move forward, Adriana?
I am.
Okay. I am good.
Okay,
You're
no, I
supposed to
think
get.
if I was ready to start the role play, it's exactly what I understand. Okay, let's start over.
Okay. Are you ready to put me to work for you today?
Well, I'm not so sure yet.
Okay. And tell me more.
Well, you know what? And we've been in the market for the last 6 months and nothing happened. So I don't think we wanted to, sell it at this time.
Okay. So I'll just stop my timer here, and I'm going to give this. I'm going to let Katrina step in so I can make notes. So although we didn't set it up this way, evidently it appears that she is an expired list, and you have the appointment. You're at the table, right? Got it, Katrina? And the first question that should come through anyone's mind right now is what? She isn't expired. Katrina called, got the appointment. She's at the appointment. Now she's saying, well, I think we're just going to wait. What question should be on your mind right now? It's an easy one.
What's prompting her
Why
wait?
the
Why she wants to wait?
Well, that will get, the question I'm asking is, okay, then why are we meeting?
Oh,
So, all right, Katrina, 2 minutes, go.
so if you said that you mentioned that you wanted to wait, can you tell me why we're meeting today?
Well, just I want to see because you be very persistent and I appreciate that. But I want to see what you have to say.
Okay. And if you don't mind refreshing my memory, tell me again, what was the reason why you're planning on moving?
Well,
Stop right there. There you go. You've got to go back to that, you guys. That's why it's second base. They wanted to go somewhere. They put their home on the market. So you got to take them back to that point. And again, if we're a doctor, when they share the motivation, that's gonna show us what organ we should be operating on. Go. Keep going, Katrina. Good job. You asked about
Waiting for
motivation.
I was waiting on your motivation.
Yeah.
So
Why did you want to sell,
Adriana?
Adriana?
Adriana, can you tell me what was the reason why you wanted to sell in the first place?
Well, very easy. We decide to move out of state here in Las Vegas. The summer is every year it's getting worse and worse.
And then where specifically out of state were you guys planning to move to?
Most likely Colorado.
Colorado? Awesome. And then how soon, ideally, would you like to get there?
Well, now plans change. I was back 6 months ago, be there already, but nothing happened. So we are no longer selling. We changed our mind.
Okay. But is there a need still to get to Colorado in the event that we could get your home sold?
Oh, no anymore.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about that, because I know initially you were listed and then, so has something changed that's preventing you from wanting to move forward?
Well, yes, my husband received an offer job in Colorado. We got so excited. And all of a sudden, we put the house on the market, but nothing happened. So he rejected the job. And so now we stay in town. We are not going to sell anymore.
Okay. Now, I know you mentioned initially that the need or the goal was to get out of Las Vegas because of everything that's going on. I'm not sure if it's for you or not, but would love to still have I forgot. I thought I was at the table. I'm sorry. I got a little bit confused.
You are at the table. You are.
I'm sorry. I thought I was over the phone. I got a little confused.
Yeah.
So I know that you said initially that you were trying to move out of Vegas and because of everything was going on. Could it be possible if we were to list your property at the right amount that would be still something that you would possibly want to move forward with?
I'm not so sure.
I'm going to stop you there. And we're almost at the top of the hour. So hang on, you guys, we put a bow in this. All right, Katrina, I'm gonna be your little Jiminy Cricket, and I'm on your shoulder listening to this, and I'm thinking, okay, what did you hear? You picked up on it. What did you guys hear when she was talking about why she wanted to go leave Las Vegas? What did you hear?
Initially,
Did
she
you?
said, because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, initially she said because of everything was going on, and then she said that her husband had received a job, and so they got excited, and he didn't get the job, and so that's what kind of delayed them from moving forward.
Well, I think going back to what she talked about, it's getting worse and worse every year. And I don't know what it was, traffic, or I'm not really sure what it was. It was something that they were liking it less and less every year. That made them look okay. And then, of course, then the job thing happened and fell through, blah, blah, blah. So what would be a great question? I'm going to you, Katrina, who as we end this. This is where I'd coach you. I would ask her the question, well, let's go back. If we could make this, if you had a magic wand. So ask her if she had a magic wand, would she still like to leave Las Vegas? Now notice, why was she moving to Colorado?
Her husband's job.
So it's not about moving to Colorado. It's about leaving what? Las Vegas. So again, her motivation, if she wanted to get to Colorado, she had family there. I get it. But if you say, hey, look, how can we get you to Colorado? Well, the husband doesn't have a job anymore. Their motivation is to get where? Out of Las Vegas. So if you had a magic wand, ask her that. Would you like to still leave Las Vegas if it could happen? Katrina, are you frozen? She's frozen. Can you hear me, Adriana?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Yes.
Would you still like to leave Las Vegas? If it could happen, would you still like to move?
Well, personally, yes, but the issue now is my husband's job, so we don't know when he's going to have another opportunity to receive a really great offer job.
Okay, so as I end this, is it possible that she is not a listing prospect today, but is one later? So again, does it make sense that she does not list her house if her husband doesn't have a job? Is it necessary that your husband have a job if you're going to move? Is that necessary?
Absolutely.
Okay. And ideally, was Colorado because of the job, or was there any other reason taking you to Colorado?
Well, no, 4 seasons in Colorado, that was the main reason. And the opportunities to find a job, it was really good. He got an offer job, but since the house didn't get sold, we decided to reject the offer job.
I don't have time to go into it now because we're at the top of the hour. However, is it possible that her husband has a job in a profession that a job would be can manifest itself anywhere? So, for example, what if another job came up and it was in Colorado or another state you liked, but you had to sell your house first? What would you do? Well, we'd sell. How often does your husband see job offers come up? Well, he's an engineer. He can get a job anywhere. Well, what it would look like if we got your house sold and you could stay there until the right job came up where you didn't have the whole home as an anchor. See, the important thing in this role play that I wanted you to see is, and it was a good role play, and I appreciate you setting it up that way. She wasn't going to anything. She wanted to leave something. And sometimes that is a bigger motivation than where she's going. If a job came up in Florida, maybe she would be a candidate for that. Does that make sense to you guys? So I know you got froze up there a little bit, Katrina. So did anyone hear something today that was worthwhile, that made our last mastery call worthwhile to you today?
Well, personally, I thank you for allows people to join your group. Very good, very, very good. And I wasn't planning to do the role play, but I would no doubt in my mind it was very, very helpful. And my job between quotation is join you guys every single week. And I like the for sale by owner practice. I'm not really fan with for sale by owners, but by 2025, my goal is to get more sharp. I mean, my skill get more sharp, my skills and for sale by owners. Definitely.
Good.
Thank you.
And what's the P word? If you want to sharpen your skills, practice.
Practice, 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 fail and practice, and keep failing and keep practicing.
Anybody else? Katrina, nice job today. Anybody else have an aha?
Yes, we're in the bull ride.
Yes. And I think that was Katrina 6 seconds. I mean, I think that's you get it down under 10 seconds, you're gonna have some success. So I appreciate you being on. You guys have a great new year. Happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, all the other stuff. And we'll see you next Friday. We will have it next Friday. All right. Love you, mean
Thanks
it.
to you, Denny.
Denny.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.